Hey, what's going on, Joshua? Welcome to the stream. Apologize for that real quick. We had a little technical difficulty, so we're about to get started just now. Just give me just a few minutes to get set up here. So welcome guys to another stream. It is Thursday, December 5. And let me apologize for the lack of a stream earlier this week. Just was not able to make it, and so we're here now. So we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Don't know what was happening with the simulator a while ago. My OBS was just not functioning the way it's supposed to, but we're here now. So we are happy to be in the bus. As I was saying, welcome to the stream. We are gonna jump into the aircraft and get it started up now. This would have probably wasted a little bit of our time, but we can still do that. Let's get the batteries started out and attach the external power. Get our sim brief started out. We're gonna run through all of this just now, so give me just a few minutes. Yeah. So let's change this time to a little bit earlier. Update. That could work. All right, so here we go. Get the aircraft set up. And let's get this music down just a little bit so you can hear what's going on. Yes, sir. Welcome guys. We are getting ourselves sorted out here on the A319. Let me get GSX going. I really hate to be rushing like this, but we're gonna go ahead and get GSX started so that we can get our flight on the way. So we are in the Air Canada 319 Charlie Foxtrot Yankee Kilo Charlie is where we're at. So that's what we're gonna do for the moment up to we're going up to Ottawa, which is a very short flight, so we'll be up and down. I'll show you the flight plan shortly. So let me just get a couple of things squared away since we had to restart. This is Air Canada 460.
Fuel truck is in position. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
All right, IRSs are gonna take about 7 minutes according to this here. So let's go ahead and get some other things set up. So we're gonna go into FMC, or rather the MCDU as it would be in the Airbus. Can't call that for an Airbus. They will say no, not the FMC, the MCDU, the MCDU. So let's initialize the flight real quick. We're going to be Air Canada 460 going from Toronto to Ottawa, and our alternate would be back at Toronto. Flight time is 41 minutes, so it's going to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's double check we have the correct nav data on board. 28 November 25, Christmas Day. And then we can go to init page and do the init request. Excuse me. My apologies. So as I was saying earlier, before we had that change, we are gonna be flying the A319. We've been flying the Boeing for quite a while, so we're changing it up just a little bit so that we can fly the A319. Here we see the fuel truck doing its thing. GSX is what's handling all of that right now. GSX is Ground Services X. I remember what the X is, but it's a program from FS Dream Team, and it's a wonderful thing where you don't have to worry about fueling and all of that stuff, so it's done for you. Let's get the flight plan and everything out here on our Navigraph. So this is what we're doing. Our flight looks a little bit like this. So you're gonna be taking off towards the northeast, upwards towards Ottawa. And our flight plan is that we need 5.3 tons for today's flight, and estimated fuel on board when we land is 3.1, which would be an hour and 33 minutes. Our off time, well, again, like I was saying, we're going to be flying in the daytime. Usually it is a nighttime flight, but because night flying you can't see anything, so why not? Hey, it's a simulator, we can go back in time if we want to, right? So we're going to do that. Pax is going to be 120 today. So your fuel weight is 53.3, fuel is 5.3, and our takeoff weight is 58.5, well below our limit, so we are good. And let's get this out of the way real quick and go back to our FMC. So we are going to be ACA460 today. If it's your first time here on the stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. We appreciate you joining. Today we are going to run through a couple of things just to get the aircraft up and running and then go through the whole. We have air traffic control, I think, today, so you'll be able to hear some of that as well, so you can see how we interact with that. Costiness is 53 and our cruise altitude is a mere flight level 270, up and down pretty much. Going to our flight plan, diff script. So we're on the first F and departing today, runway 33 right. So that's a new one for us. Don't think we've ever done that before. Normally it's the 2 3s, 2 4s, or the 6s. So great. Departure is going to be on the Verdo 7 via the L sub, and we will insert that. Then go to our arrival, and we're going to be using the ILS 132 up till now, the capital 5 and the L sub, and we insert that. Check our flight plan to make sure we don't have any discontinuities. That first one is going to be there because of how the system is set up, and we have that second one there, which we're going to leave. Since we have air traffic control on right now, we're going to leave that as is. All right, so the fuel is on board now. We still have 3 minutes to go on our alignment, so we still have to wait a little bit. We can continue DIF, and we go to fuel. No, DI. So that was data in it and flight plan. Diffs, the copy the secondary flight plan, and after our 2100 height after departure, we're gonna come back to CYYZ as our arrival. Should we have to do a gate return or a landing, we're going to land on runway 33 left. We're below our weight, so 33 left should be fine. No star, and we'll return. So that's all set up. Unfortunately, you can't see all of that. We will see that shortly once the navigation display becomes available.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
After we do the secondary flight plan, the next letter is radios. Radios is empty. Nothing to put there except we put the YYZ VOR.
Passengers boarding started.
The YYZ VOR. I could see it.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Nevertheless, that's fine. And we go to the R. Then we have the RIP, which is the second I, and we go to our secondary page. On the right side, we will go to receive messages and look at our load sheet. Load sheet comes in, tells us what we need is 53.3 as our zero fuel weight, 3.3, and next page will be 27.8 as our zero fuel weight CG. Pop that in there, and 5.3 is our fuel, 5.3.
Welcome on board.
And we will have that.
Hello. Good afternoon.
And let's see here. For the flight today, we have a tailwind of 11, so that's plus
Hello.
11. And we have our alternate 5.4. Is that what's on the flight plan? On the flight plan, our reserve fuel alternate time 5.4. Let's check 5.4. It's not. It is 1.8. So that's 1.9 is our reserve. 1.9. Put that there and good. So that's set. So we have GPS primary right now. So that means our navigation display is functioning.
This way, please.
And so since we have our fuel on board, we can turn on the fuel pumps and we can turn on the seatbelt sign and start the APU. 1, 2, 3, 4. That right there. We see outside we have boarding commencing with the boarding of the. So these trolleys or these loaders are a new thing from GSX. So it comes to the Airbuses only, and it essentially would load our flight much faster than it would if you were using the other types, which is the belt loader. So that's also a positive there. All right, good. So that is on,
This way.
and we can accept this information. So that's that. All right, go back to our flight plan and let's check through our flight plan so we can see on the primary flight display. So we go to plan view, check out the mode, and we will step through, and that looks about right. The 2 discontinuities, and that's it. The secondary flight plan, as we would see.
May I see your boarding pass?
So we didn't do an arrival. So if we were to take off from the runway, we can make a right or a left, depending on what's happening, and we will come back around and land on ILS runway 33 left. So that is already in. So if should we have that problem, we just simply go to the secondary flight plan and click
Good afternoon.
activate. So we see activate secondary if we have to come back. So that's already set. So just wanted to show you that we have that going. I'm running a bit fast, so I'm hoping I'm not going to miss anything. Of course, we'll check the checklist shortly. So we're doing that. All right, so diffs rip. So we did the I, secondary I, and go to the P. So we're going to go across to our EFP across here and go to our
Welcome on board.
departure performance. So we'll use the secondary loading, they sync the load preliminary load sheet, and we're going to be using 1+F. Anti-ice is not required, and packs on, and we have that, sync that, and calculate.
Hello.
And we have here 1 up 1.0 and 66. So we go back to our MCDU, 1 up 1.6. Is that what I saw? Yes, 1.0 66. There we go. 1.0
Welcome on board.
66, and that gives us our V speeds of 144, 144, 148. So 144, 144, and 148. Cool. All right, so that was a whole lot to go through right then and there, and let's see, our passengers are boarding and they're nicely seated.
Welcome on board.
I hope whoever makes this scenery recognizes that it's supposed to be a first class and a main cabin. So, oh well, the way they set it is to just have one cabin. Nevertheless, we press on. All right, so let's go to our navigraph on the system. Hopefully I don't have to, perfect, good. So let's go to our
Welcome on
charts and run through the departure briefing. They should be started already. Yes, they are. Great. But this is not the correct one for the departure, so we gotta change that because we're using the departure of runway 3.
Good afternoon.
Let's see. The Verdo 7 departure for runway 33.
This way, please.
And we're doing the Verdo 7 with 33. There we go. So I need to activate that as well. And also we need to have the approach the ILS runway 33 left in the event that we have to do
Hello.
a return. All right, cool. So let's do this now, guys. So we have 120 passengers, and we are now at just waiting for it to come back up. 174 out of 120, so we don't have much time. I'm just gonna set the Volanta, and I need to start the V pilot. I was forgetting a lot of things today, man. Code is PRGQ.
Hello.
Click connect. Let's see.
This way.
Alright, so while we wait on that, we are
Welcome on board.
sitting here at the Toronto Pearson International Airport, and we are at Pier D. Our departure will take us onto runway 335, sorry, 33 right. So more than likely we will push back, make a right onto Alpha Kilo, then make a left onto Bravo, and then Delta hold short runway 33 right. That will be confirmed by the controller once we get on. We have, oh, so we have several controls online. Perfect. Let's check the ATIS as well. We'll check that out just now. And our departure today is the Verdo 7 departure for runways 33 and 15. So that is chart 10-3 Tango, and it's effective 28 April 2023. This is so difficult to use sometimes, which is why we have this application. So we'll use that.
May I see your boarding pass?
So here we go. All right, so using 10-3 Foxtrot 3 Tango.
This
All
way.
right, so for our departure runway 33 right, unless otherwise assigned by ATC, climb on a heading 327 to 2100. Then climb right turning 340 or as assigned by ATC. Expect radar vectors to Vivet or as assigned, then proceed via depicted route. So we'll take off, and at 2100 feet we'll make a right turn 340. Then ATC will vector us to Vivet, then Vivet to Duvac, Duvac to Verdo, Verdo to Agnob, then Agnob to Elsub. Then that will join the arrival into Ottawa this evening.
Hello.
All right, for our departure today, we have the ATIS Quebec, and the current ATIS is 310 at 19, gusting to 30, so pretty windy outside. 15 statute miles, fuel clouds at 2,700, broken at 8,500. Temperatures -3, dew point -08, altimeter 290901. Primary IFR approach is 33 left, and secondary IFR is 33 right. Departure today is 33 right, and rest of the information is just for information purposes, so we'll leave that as is. We don't have any threats, so to speak, departing onto the runway, so that should be fine. On our departure roll, if
Good afternoon.
below 80 knots, we will stop any ECAM action that's such as a fire or anything like that. Between 80 knots and V1, we'll stop only for anything that will cause us to not be able to fly. Anything else after V1, we will continue with the takeoff. Climbs to 3,000 and advise ATC of our intentions. Then come back around land if we need to. If not, we'll continue the flight onto Ottawa. So if there are any questions, that was a quick run through of our flights. And of course, if we have to return, we already have the ILS on the 33 left program on the secondary flight plan, so we will be good to go. Okay, so let's go back to our FMC as we will get we have a telex message. Slot is a little bit different because it's not right time, so we'll leave that out. Load sheet, final load sheet, is it changed 53.3? We should have that same there, and 27.8. Let's double check in our, right, so that's fine. Go back to that and get the wind information in. All right, we'll go upstairs and we will turn on the APU bleed, turn off the external power as we no longer need that. Great. I prefer the seats to be a little bit further back so it does not obstruct especially if I look around. So that's why I do that. Great. So we're gonna pretend that we talked to the flight attendant. Let the flight attendant know, yeah, everything is cool. All right, ready. All right, cool. Shut doors. And we are just about ready to go. But of course, you got to talk to ATC. So let's do that right now. We have information Quebec on board, and we will call the tower 187. So let's set that real quick setup. 118.7, and let's holla at the tower. Current top plaza, good evening. Air Canada 460 at stand 133 Imperial D, requesting clearance with information Quebec.
Air Canada 460, Toronto Tower, good evening. Thanks for Quebec, clear to Ottawa, 7 departure hours of transition, flight plan route, depart runway 33 right, squawk 6261.
Bitter 7 and 33 right 6261 for Air Canada 460.
Yeah, 460, sorry, confirm 7 departure Alpha transition.
Bitter 7 L sub transition for 460.
And those 460, back direct, call back to push.
We'll call on the push 460. Good, so we have our clearance now, so we can turn on now. Again, this is one of the beautiful things about the FENIX flight, is that once we turn on our beacon, then we'll definitely have, turn that down a bit. Once you turn on the beacon, then we'll definitely have the flight started out. We don't have to do anything else. And I like that interaction that we have with GSX. So it makes my work a little bit easier. So let's do our checklist real quick so we cover everything. All right, so gear pins and covers for cockpit preparation. Gear pin cover remove. Fuel quantity is 5.3 kilos, and that is on board. Seatbelt sign is on. ADRS is nav. VRAM is 2991. If we change that to that here, 2991 set and set twice. And the cockpit preparation section is complete. Before start, parking brake is set. Double check that. And the takeoff speeds and thrust is 144,144,148, and there's 1 up 066 flex temp. And we will keep perf on the right hand side. Flight plan on the right hand side. Since we're flying, keep it on the left. And we have takeoffs, windows are closed, and lock beacon is now going on, and we will get that information. So we see a pop up there that we are going to start. We don't want you to get
Due
ready.
to icing conditions here, please stand by until push is completed and brakes are set.
We're going to ignore that. We're going to start right away anyways. And this, oh, there's 6261, and we're going to turn on our transponder. Cool. Air Canada 460 ready to push the start. Lane 6 push lane 6 southwest, tail southwest, and we'll call for taxi. Air Canada 460. All right, so of course GSX is not going to tell us like that, so we're going to check to make sure what that is. It should be a tail towards the right, or rather nose right. So let's double check. Yeah, so right, so it's going to be a nose right, tail left.
Release parking brakes.
So parking brakes is a release. Stand by. Right. Parking brake release, and we start the timer.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by until push is completed and brakes are set.
And there's an Air Canada 777 pulling into the gate. That is lovely. And a little pion airplane like mine. All right, start sequence is 2, 1, then 2. So start engine number 1, please. Engine number 1 is going to be started. sometimes these airplanes on the, what you call it, these AI aircraft, the AI traffic sometimes a little bit louder than it ought to be. So being outside sometimes is just too loud. So engine 1 is starting. I don't remember what the top altitude was for this. Let's double check that real quick. Top altitude, do we have one? 5,000. All right.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brakes are set.
Unlocking gear.
Nice little sunset. Yo, what's going on, George? Welcome to the stream, brother. What's going on? What's going on? All right, start engine number 2. All right, not sure that Air Canada is with us, but he's also going to Toronto. Sorry, to Ottawa. So we're gonna try to get out of his way really quickly. Starting engine number 2. And as you see on the right hand side here, we have all this traffic. Livery has me so nostalgic. Yeah, man. I actually like this livery right here. It's that snowflakes. Ah, really nice. And that's kind of what I like. When I use liveries, I like to use those that are the old kind of liveries. I just like that. All right, so we have the available on 2. Just got disconnected. There we go. All right, so we have 2 good starts. Let's run through those flows real quick. Rudder left, rudder right, and we have fully left, fully right, neutral, fully up, fully down, and we'll set 1.0 on the up trim, and that is set. All right, we're gonna pull forward just a bit and then run the after takeoff, after starting checklist, just so that we can get the other guy out of there. So let's call for our taxi. Tower Air Canada 460, your taxi. Lane 6 Alpha Kilo Bravo Victor is 33 right, 460. All right, so we got our taxi, and we're gonna just go ahead and release the brakes. Taxi lights on, and did I start my A cars? No, I did not. So let's do that right now. Put myself in problems. Oh, I'm gonna have a problem. We'll deal with that later. All right, cool. So we will. And we're ready to go. Brake check. Check 0. And let's check our after start checklist. Anti-ice not required. ECAM status is check. Pitch trim 1.0 up, and rudder trim is neutral. And the after start checklist is complete. Collapse. 1 plus F. Cleared right, cleared left, and we make a left onto Bravo.
35 departure, flight plan route, departure 333 right, squawk 17.
So Alpha Kilo, so we'll go out here and then make a left on the next one. And let's get our So we're gonna Bravo, so we take the second left. And we have all these traffic getting out here. 132.8. So we have that set just for the departure. Taxi checklist flight control is check. Flap settings 1+F. Radar and predictive wind shear is on an auto. Engine mode select is norm. Ecom status is green, so it is normal, no blue. Take off no blue, and let's get this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pause the music. Guys, can you just let me know if the sound is coming in fine? If there's any overpowering, let me know so that I can make these adjustments so that you can hear me and also hear the airplane. Just so that we can make sure we have that smooth stream coming through for you. Ah, look at that. We got some rainbows out there, guys. So because we're in a cold environment, we're gonna leave the APU on until we get airborne. So that's one of the reasons why it's still on. Just to verify our flight plan as we are taxiing on, because it's going to be real quick. So we are departing off of the Verdo 7 departure, runway 33 right, and we will depart after 2100 feet, make right to 340, so we can actually put that in right now. 34, can't hear the VATSIM audio clearly, no problem. Let's do that. I turned it on just a little bit because it might have been overpowering, so let me know how that is once they come back. And so we make a right 340, but there's vectors, so we get vectors from the
cross 33 right on Bravo.
Where we get that instruction from the Toronto departure, and then below 80 knots, we will come to stop for any ecom warning that we get. Otherwise than that, we will continue takeoff. At above V1, we'll stop only for any fire or any major warnings that we have. Above V1, we will continue to climb. Climb to 3000, then we'll assess the situation. If we have to return, we will make a right turn or a left turn depending on what ATC gives us, and we'll come back and land on runway 33 left. If there aren't any questions, we are prepped for this departure.
2875. I'm just trying to figure out what did that other guy in front of you disappear on the runway?
Seems like it.
Okay, interesting. Delta 2875, line up runway 33 right.
Yeah, I've been in
Line up 33 right, Delta 2875. Cheers.
Let's disconnect this so we don't forget. Can't be rolling on the runway and not have rudder. So for our lineup, takeoff runway 33 right, TCAS is on and above, and packs 1 and 2 are on. Clear to the left. And we have an A320 departing here. Got the parking brakes, and we'll wait for further instructions.
Delta 2875, it might be a minute here.
Good thing that we packed a little extra
Roger,
fuel.
that's all good. Take off.
So this is a nice Toronto airport right here. We have a 777 behind us, and that's another 777. Not sure if that's a 300 or 200. And you have another, that's a 737. That may be a max. And let's see, that is the other company that was waiting behind us right here. Not sure why we're waiting, but we'll just hang tight. Check out these folks here on the airplane. So GSX has it such that now we can see the folks seated. So we can't, so to save on resources,
Delta
we're not going to see
2875, when
the
airborne
person's,
contact departures on 132.8.
we're not going to see them while we're in the airplane once the door is closed, but we can see them on the outside, so you can see them right here.
Roger, the winds when airborne, contact 132.8.
That is a pretty nice, that's a picture right there.
Tower, German Cargo 461, should I contact ground for taxi or stay with you?
German Cargo 46 on standby. Probably going to be ground, but just give me a second here. Air Canada 460, line up on retreat to your right.
Line up on runway 33 right, 460. Right, so we're going to line up on runway
1932, agreed, you've gone past altitude
right.
there. Or wait, never mind, I put the wrong thing in. Disregard. Roger. Sorry, no issue.
I'm going to have to set these views again. I think what happened is that I tried to use the same for all of them, and I did not, I don't think I've flown the 319 yet, so I'll have to reset those views, but that's going to be quick and easy, so we can get that once we get on the climb out.
Ready for taxi.
On any procedure, we can turn on our strobe lights.
Air Canada 466, contact ground 12165.
Clear
Contact
left.
ground 121.65, I can 466.
German Cargo 461, contact ground 12165.
Toronto is pretty much staffing up, which is pretty cool.
Over to ground 461.
Air Canada A0 Heavy, where are we going?
340 is our heading. Stop that shortcut. 340. There we go. At 2100 feet, we will make that right turn 340, but I'm sure once we get airborne, we'll get further instructions vectors to our first waypoint. So we are ready to go, guys. Flap set and our speed brake is armed and we are good to go. Let's double check our checklist here. There's no departure change, so we are good. We're just waiting on our clearance now for departure.
Air Canada 460 on airborne contact departures 132.8, wind 32018, gust 24, clear for takeoff, runway 33 right.
On the departure 32, clear takeoff 460. All right, guys, let's go. Have lights coming on.
Have you ready for departure?
And we advance to 50% pressure on the stick. And
Air Canada 80 in the future, please don't change
50%.
frequencies unless someone tells you to.
Manflex SRS runway auto thrust is blue.
Toronto Tower, good evening. This is Air Canada 1090 for fully established shuttles runway 33 left, 178
80
until
knots
Admiral.
check.
Air Canada 1094 Toronto Tower, good evening. The wind 32016, gust 26, clear to land, runway 33 left.
Runway 33 left, clear to land. Air Canada 1094.
V1, rotate. Ooh, they need to pull back so far. Wow, that was real nimble. Pause the brake, gear up. And airborne, so we come to departure in 38.2, so we switch that around.
Delta 2875. Delta 2875, Toronto arrival, just so you know, the stage goes up to 5,000, so you can't climb anything higher than 5,000 next time. But you identified 10,000, climb flight level 230. Climb level 23000, sorry about that, Delta 2875. Sleeper, correction, Emirates 201, descend is 4,000.
Ice detected, so we gotta put on anti-ice.
Sleeper 93, maintain 170, so Atman, contact Tower 118.7 over there, thank you.
Tower 117 and 178, good for 93, good evening.
To our departure, Air Canada 460 on heading 340, climb in 3.6. Collapse up.
Air Canada 460, Toronto arrivals identified, right turn directive at on course, climb flight level 230.
Climb, go direct, right direct on course and climb flight level 230, Air Canada 460.
Air Canada 1938, you look like you to be a little off the foot there.
So let's go direct to Violet and on course.
We're going to try to do some correction for
Autopilot in and climb the flight level 230. See guys, this is one of the reasons why you have to have two pilots on board. I'm already going above 250, which I should not be doing. Of course, I'm gonna get docked out my VA. And we were just told a while ago to go direct to our first airport and climb maintain flight level 230. So it's gonna be really, really quick. These things happen way too quickly sometimes. But we got it. So here we are airborne. So some of those clothes that we have for our ATIS, we saw some of that. So there is some icing outside, and we can turn off our apron now.
Disregard that, 170 knots until Atman, please.
170 knots until Atman.
Engine 1 bleed low temp, auto throttle off.
Delta 2 Alpha Whiskey Toronto.
So my airplane is trying to do a bunch of things to me right now. What's up?
Delta 2 Alpha Whiskey Toronto.
Let's see what it says here. Auto throttle off.
Air 1938, turn right, heading 240.
For 240, Air Canada 1930.
All right, this is interesting. I've never had this before. Engine air.
Air 642, just confirm you established on the road.
Low temp. Auto thrust.
Yes, we are.
Advance successful. Cross speed open. Engine being off.
Air 1938, turn right, heading 270.
270.
270.
270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 270. 2
270 on that number, Air Canada 1938.
Delta 2 Alpha Whiskey Toronto. Air Canada 1938, Smith Western heading 300, defense 3000.
300 down to 3000, Air Canada 1938.
So it seems like we're having. Ah, okay.
Air Canada 64, Juliet 17170 knots until
I think I know what happened now. So in icing conditions, we're supposed to turn the engines to ignition in the event that we have some issue. We can always start. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, let's see here.
So for the 133 left,
go to our messages.
170 left. Air Canada 1938.
So that's fuel. Okay, that's cool. Progress. Let's go to Cyyw 32. So we're currently 180 miles out. So
Delta 2875, contact Cleveland Center 119.87. Good day. And so 11. So Delta 2875. Yeah. Air Canada 1938, go to final.
So let's look at the approach information now, because like I said, guys, it's going to be really quick.
One turn left heading 060.
As soon as we get to cruise, it's about time to land. So we're going to check the approach chart.
Services terminates, Fish Unicom 122, that's Malika, have a good flight.
Over to Unicom for 460.
Affirm.
Well, thanks for the ATC.
Yeah.
So we don't have center on board on line, so
over Appman, contact tower 18,
we go to 122.8, and that's that. All right, great. So guys, we are now out of ATC coverage for right now. So let's go over the approach real quick. That is gonna be coming up really quickly, so we could do that right now. So we are using the capital 5 into Ottawa via the L sub. So we're across L sub, cross Canic below for level 230. Then this is Lanker or Lark. We're using runway 32, so we cross that below 16,000. Then towards Vissel, then right to Olagu. Then Demco at 5,000, then Volag and Ducty. Then we make the left towards the ILS runway 32 at Texan, and we cross Texan at 3,000. Then descent via the glide about 8.6 from the VOR, from the end of the runway, and then we continue to landing. All right, let's set up this approach real quick. The ILS runway 32 via Volag. And let's climb to flight level 23270. Right, so we should have all of this information in the McDo, so let's double check that flight plan. So we have Elsum, then Canic, Line, then Vissel, then Lagu, Demko, Volag, and Ducty. I don't think we need Ducty because we can go from Volag direct to the Texan, which is what we're going to use, so we'll remove that. Remove Ducty, and we'll also remove the discontinuity. Insert that. Let's double check it on the flight plan. Great. So we make sure we cross Texting at 3,000. And we have Demco at 5. So we should be good. Great. So that's all set up. We are now approximately 155. So there we go. Trying to go through all of that, I forgot to turn off my lights. So one of my other friends who was on the stream last night was like, don't worry, they forget to do that all the time, so I don't feel so bad. Don't feel so bad. All right, climbing to flight level 262 for flight level 270. I am going to increase the speed so we can get there just a little bit faster since we already set up the approach. And let's get the information for the arrival based on the weather. So runway 32 is our arrival. The weather is 330 at 24 gusts and 35. Should make for a nice approach. 1000 miles, there's snow. Yay. So we have some snow in the area and scattered at 1000, overcast at 2300. So we're going to be going through some clouds as we descend. And we'll break through at 2,300 from that overcast and some scattered between at 1,000. Temperature is -3 and altimeter is 29066. So we can set that right now. It is 29066. And that's set on the captain side, and we'll set it on the first officer side as well. 29066. And that is set. Weight would be 57, so we can call that 57.3. And so we will require 1987 meters, and we have 2285. So we have more than enough for a low brake and idle reverse, so that is all good. So there we have, guys, we are on our way to Ottawa. I'm not sure if I'm getting my pictures taken for whatever reason, not hearing the click like I'm not. Wow, why did I do that? Wasn't hearing my pictures being taken. I'm not sure if they are. Hopefully they are, because these are some really nice pictures like this one. Make sure my screenshots are being taken. Oh, they are not. I don't know why. Oh well. Yeah, guys, so we're going to turn on some music as we enjoy the rest of this flight. So the question is really, am I going to go to 2024? Yeah, eventually I will. I'm seeing that a lot of these developers are doing quite the important information or the important adjustments that is needed for the 2024 to work properly, but there's still quite a bit to be done, and I'm not entirely interested in going across there until those are ironed out. So we're still going to be using the 2024 a while. Plus, what is also important is that we're still going to have the 757 coming out, and again, once that comes out, everything else is going to be part. I'm a 757 fan from the jump, and once that comes on board, that is going to be the end of the story. It's just going to be 757 flights for a while. The weather is 30024, and the information for the approach is 571. It's a 571. and that is set. Our temperature is -3, and we're good to go. So our top of descent is in a few minutes. Top of descent is in 38 nautical miles, so we'll begin that top of descent shortly. And so let's check. We have low brake. PMDG comes out tomorrow, guys, with the 777 freighter, and of course you're going to get that once it comes out, and that's going to give us a couple more routes that we can fly. Not going to be the normal commercial flying that we see here. Those flights are normally with they go into airports that are kind of not seen. For example, if you're flying in the European areas, I think you've probably heard of Leipzig and Luxembourg, those airports. So we're going to do a little bit of freighter flying. I'm not necessarily a freight dog, but hey, we could try something new here on the channel. So we definitely try to do that between now and the next coming weeks. Still waiting to hear word from the 757 family to make some sort of announcement. We probably won't be seeing that until probably February is my guess, maybe a little bit longer, but things are moving quite a bit. They're moving along quite a bit, so we're happy to hear that. And of course, once it hits the market, we're definitely going to put it on the channel. The Max was one that we were waiting on as well. That is already out. We have that sorted out, and we are going to be putting a little bit more. I should have a couple of videos coming out as well, so we'll see how best we can do that to make sure that we keep the channel going. If you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button. It will definitely help us grow the channel. It is really appreciated. If you like what you see, also consider leaving a like. You can also comment whatever you want to share. Feel free to do that. You can also chat, comment in the chat and ask any question you want to. Feel free to chat. We're here to enjoy ourselves with these flights. Happy to hear your point of view. If you see me do something that you're not sure or not clear on, feel free to ask. Definitely be here to try and answer as much as possible. I am not a real world pilot. Let's get that out there. Not a real world pilot, but I've been flying for approximately 20 years on the, a little bit more than 20 actually, flying on the virtual scene. So it's something that I really enjoyed, and of course outside of traveling in the real world. All right, so we're getting close to our top of the set here, and what I like to do is prepare the radius rings. And so we go to flight plan, first fix info, and the identifier for the ILS is India Romeo Papa. So we put that in there and it should come up, and it is not any of those. Great. So you have to find another fix, which we will use the VOR, which is India Oscar Whiskey. India Oscar Whiskey. Cool. That's 33 miles from us. Great. And so we're gonna have 320 as our radio, and we're gonna do a 15-mile radius. Then we do IOW once more, 320, and we will do a 7-mile radius. Yeah, 7-mile radius. Great. Top of the sun coming up, so let's turn that down to, we're going all the way down to 5,000, and we will initiate a descent right now. We will ding the cabin, let them know we're ready for a descent, and we will initiate descent, manage descent. Great. So let's talk about what that is, that ring that you will see. So these rings right across here, I have been seeing that on real world flights. Real world pilots would have shared that. What that does, it allows for you to pace yourself in terms of your speed. Don't want to let the aircraft get ahead of you. So the first ring at 15 nautical miles, you want to make sure that we're at 180 knots. And then by the 7-mile radius, we should be fully configured. We will get the glide slope from 5 miles from the field. So with 2 miles ahead of that, we will definitely be fully configured so that we can land safely, be stable for our landing into Ottawa this evening. Cool. So it is pretty cold out. And I think I prefer this. What do you guys think? So we took off with some light and we're landing with some, that twilight kind of thing. So these colors are pretty nice on the sim as well. I hear that 2024 is even better. So we'll definitely see that once we get on the 2024 platform. But we're just waiting for them to iron out those kinks. I know for sure PMDG is working through because there are certain things that are not unlocked. Persons are cussing at PMDG for not getting things where I see other persons will be getting on the platform. What we have to remember, guys, is that the platforms or the developers, they program their planes differently. So FENIX would not have created their airplane the same way as PMDG. So some of the things that are necessary for them to become compatible with the 2024 platform are not what PMDG has. So we just gotta be patient, guys. Just gotta be patient. It'll eventually come. It will eventually come. We all want to be on the new platform, but of course, new things will take some time. There will be teething issues, so we just gotta be patient. Just gotta be patient. All right, so we gotta be giving our announcements now since there's no ATC. Ottawa approach, Ottawa traffic, Air Canada 460 is out of flight level 240, descending to 5,000 on the Capital 5 departure, expect Capital 5 arrival, expecting the ILS runway 32 for arrival, Ottawa traffic. I wonder how far away is that other guy who was behind us. Let's see. That's weird. I guess Toronto's not serving over there. All right, well, it is what it is. Let's see where he's at. There he is. No. There we go. So 466 is still quite a ways behind of us. Guess he too had to wait whatever traffic was in that area. But that's kind of weird that we're flying within the center airspace, but he's not taking care of us. Oh well. We can handle it without him. That's fine. There's some traffic that's departing Ottawa. Air Canada 459 heading over to Toronto. Let's check out what this company message is right here. At to AOC and receive messages. Ooh, got a bunch of telex here. So there's another program that I'm using along with this. Is called Real Air Cars, and this is sending out messages like crazy. And so it kind of gives you, it sends random messages, but kind of sort of supposed to be like the actual information you will get from the ACARs or the dispatcher. Arrival gate is saying 30 Alpha, but we're not going to be using that gate. The real aircraft landed at gate 17, so that's going to be our arrival. Ah yes, we got to do that real quick, so let's jump on that. Guys, I do apologize for being kind of off with what I'm doing. This is not normal. I was really thrown out because I had to do that restart. So I do apologize for not having the flow like I normally do. So let's check this out. So we did that 10-2. We talked about the arrival. and the ILS runway 32. We're coming in via the Volag and left of Texan and cross Texan at 3000. The decision height is 571, and that's already in our system. For missed approach, if we should go missed, we climb the 3000, head to 320 for vectors. There's no vectors, so we definitely have the vector ourselves. We go ahead in 320, then come back around. If there isn't any issue, then we just make a left base downwind, a left crosswind, then do a downwind leg, and we make a left base to rejoin the ILS runway 32. The MSA is 2,900, and there isn't any, barring these antennas that are in the area, we should be fine on the approach path. Once we land, we are intending to park at Terminal 1. So with 1,700, let's double check that. So 1,900 to almost 2,000 meters required for our landing. 2,000 meters should take us right about here. So we should exit via Kilo. At worst case scenario, we exit via Lima, make a right onto Alpha, and our gate is somewhere around here. If I go to our ground charts, we can look at the parking stands apron 1. Right, so via Alpha, and we park at gate 17. Currently descending down through 15,800, so we can now go to the standard, the local altimeter, which is 296.6, and we continue to descend on 5,000 feet. It is in managed descent, so we should be fine with crossing our descent restrictions, and we have no ADC for the up, so that is cool. So we are currently 39 miles from the field, so we are getting there pretty quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight, this is your captain speaking. We have already begun our descent into the Ottawa area. We are approximately 15 minutes from touchdown. Just ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight. The weather down is a little bit windy and a little brisky in terms of the weather. The temperature is -3, a little bit snow, so should be a fun approach. Once again, thank you for choosing Air Canada as your carrier, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the flight. Cool. We can take off the ISIS. ISIS is not detected, and we have more company messages. That we did not see. Here we go. Respect leg. Change. Okay, cool. Put that aside. All right, so we have our approach speed of 139, and our bar was 571, and we're good to go. I believe that's the aircraft that just left out of Ottawa. Ottawa traffic, Air Canada 460 descending through 12,500 for 5,000 on the cabin 5 arrive. Ottawa traffic. You can see those lights over there on the airplane that's passing us there. gonna have to really set those views back. All right, descending to 10,000 feet. Landing light coming on. And we'll turn on our wing lights as well. Turn all these lights on so we don't forget nothing. All right, so let's do our approach checklist. Approach checklist says barrel reference is set 571. Seatbelt signs on minimum is 571. Barrel ref. It's weird because this says barrel right here at 571, but then barrel is talking about the actual barometer. So barometer reference is 2966 set twice. The seatbelt signs on minimum is 571. Auto brake is level 1. Engine mode selector is norm. Approach checklist is complete. So we make a right base and correction right downwind, then right left base for the ILS runway 32. Currently we are 15 nautical miles to the west of, so the southwest of the airport. So we're turning right downwind now. Try to get that light on. Good. And we're descending to 5,000. So we are heading down pretty nicely. So we cross Demco at 5,000. So we will begin to slow down as well to 210. Which is what we need to be at by then as well. Ottawa traffic, Air Canada 460 on the downwind runway 32. We'll call left base to the localizer runway 32, the Ottawa traffic. If there's anyone on the channel as well who's struggling with phraseology, especially with understanding what you should say and what to say, don't worry. It didn't come overnight. It's practice. It just read back information, especially if you're talking to ATC, just read back information that is important. For example, at the beginning when we were talking to air traffic control, he wanted to verify for our departure that we understood that we're doing the LSUB transition. So we said the Verdo 7, yes, but we had to read back that we are going to fly the LSUB transition on that departure, since there are multiple gates to exit for that. So it's just important that you read back a lot of these things that are important versus trying to read back everything. So we're gonna reduce our speed now to 210, and we're gonna maintain 210 until we get to Volag. Then we'll slow to 180. We're gonna be within that 15 miles. So once we get past that and we continue to descend to 4,000, to manage to 3,000. So once we cross Demco, then we'll have that. So slowing to 210, and we'll continue descent short. Are you heading out, George? All right, so we continue our descent now down to 3,000, and we're going to pull our speed back now to 200.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. We'll see you on the ground. All right, so we're going to have to put on our, we're going through some clouds, so we put on our anti-ice. All right, speed down to, all right, just checking, making sure you guys saw the praying hands. Not sure you were referring to that. Always based on what I just said about the information that you read back. All right, reduce speed to 190, and we maintain that. Flight tendencies for departure, please. Fleets for arrival, please. All right, so now we're going to activate the, I think it may have already been activated. Perf. Yes, it's activated. And so we're gonna landing system right here, and we're descending down to 3,000. Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes I remember interacting with somebody just the other day, speed check flaps 1, and they were kind of nervous as to what they should say because they're a new pilot. So it's important that we understand it's not everything that you have to read, but you really don't. There's some controllers though, let me say this, there's some controllers that would require you to do an entire readback, which I find is unnecessary, especially if you're flying in an event or in a busy airspace. You don't have the time to do that because you're trying to get other people to get their messages in. So for example, when we did the pushback and we had Air Canada 460 behind of us, if we had to try and read back a whole bunch of things, and the guy would be sitting there for so long when he needs to get out, right? So it's just a matter of just getting the important things in, especially in terms of your readback. You read back your squawk code, read back your departure SID and the transition gate, so that you ensure you get it right. So we're going to arm the localizer right now, since localizer is active here, and we'll maintain 180 until we get to that line and we do manage speed. Speed check flaps 2, and the localizer is captured, so we'll let that know now. Check 2,000, 5,000, check. Ottawa traffic, this is Air Canada 460 left base, join the localizer, runway 232 left, runway 32, no left side. All right, and we're gonna arm the approach as well, and we should be able to see the runway. Still a ways out. Let's lower the music just a bit. Somehow I think I just turned it up. All right, so we are approximately 10 nautical miles out, as that's our 7. All right, so we're getting to that point. So now gear down. And once the gears come down, we will call flaps 3. Glide slope captured. Glide slope star, rather. Flaps 3. Speed check, flaps 3. And we do manage speed. And there's the snow. Flaps 4, speed check. Ottawa traffic, this is Air Canada 460 is on the ILS runway 32, and the glide slope is captured. $2,000 check. There is a bit of a crosswind. Wind is blowing at 24, gusting to 32. Arm the spoilers. And let's do our landing checklist. Landing checklist ECAM, no blue. Landing checklist complete. So, let's see. The weather, so yeah, so we have slow and 4 statute miles. So we should see it once we get a little bit closer. We should break out just at 1,000 feet. So let's look for that. There we go. Passing through 1,800. We've seen a little bit there. And there we have the lights coming up. So we're good to go. So before decision height, we are seeing the runway. So we are good to go. Ottawa traffic, Canada 466 is final approach runway 32. Air Canada traffic. Ottawa traffic. Blowing snow, man. So we have wind dead on the nose, which is good. That means we shouldn't have a problem.
1,000.
Check. And there we go. We just broke out of the clouds at 1,000. So we are good to go. Ottawa traffic, Canada 466, short final runway 32, Ottawa. Keep that energy, Snow. Keep the energy, man. $1,000. I'm gonna hand fire this down. Check. 500. That's weird. Didn't hear that final call out. My airplane. Let's see if I can grease this one.
100 above.
Check.
300.
Little high.
200.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue. Woo! Wow, floating. What's up with that? I'm gonna.
Don't sink.
Ah, come on, man. At reverses green and 70 knots. Manual braking. That was crazy. That is not cool. I'm sure that's gonna register a whole 4 something. Trying to smooth the landing out a while ago and ended up floating. It's not cool. All right, so we exit here at Charlie, I think it is. Delta. Start the timer. Flight time was 43 minutes. Yeah, way too much fed. Yeah, and that's weird. You see, that's the difference with the 319, man. So it's a shorter airplane, so you gotta fly the airplane into the ground pretty much. So let's clean up the aircraft and lights coming off and start the APU. There we go. Just gonna come to a slow right here. Yeah, so the aircraft is an A319. It's a much shorter airplane. So trying to land the airplane where it is floating, that's my bad, and it's something that you will have to get accustomed to. So even though I'm a quote unquote good pilot, flying a shorter airplane does require a little bit more of a different approach in terms of how you fly. So I'm curious to see what my landing rate was. My landing rate was -498. Wow. passengers must have been, what's wrong with this guy? Yeah, so it takes a little bit of a different approach when it comes to flying the shorter buses, because they're shorter, so it doesn't have that kind of momentum, so to speak. So yeah, I botched that one, but that's okay. That's okay. That means I need little more practice with that. All right, gate 17 is where we're going. I don't need to follow me because it's somewhere right here. Right here it is. There we go. Let's see. Gate 17 is right here. Good. Wait, where is it? Ah, gate 17 over here. Yep, there we go. So there's another taxiway that's here. Is that? Yeah, that's another taxiway right there. We're gonna gate 17, which is here. Not 17 alpha, but 17, and we can now turn out the lights rather than blinding the RAM controller. Let's see if we can recover by making him dance real quick. Let's see. Line up properly on the line. So technically this is not realistic because you're not going to be outside trying to park the airplane. Let's see if we get him to dance real quick and come to a stop. Parking brake is set. And we have APU, so we can cut the engines, stop the timer. An hour and 3 minutes. Let's see. Is he gonna dance? Are we gonna dance for us? Any dancing? Come on. That wasn't a good part. What you mean? I'm on the... Oh, come on, guy. He said we didn't do a pretty good parking, so we leave that one alone. All right, so we'll turn on the beacon and we will deboard. And GSX will sort that out for us. And we can turn off all of these other things, transponder coming off, and the weather predictive wind shear comes off. And let's run that after landing checklist. Off, parking brakes, chocks set, engine off, wing lights off, fuel pumps off. Parking checklist is complete.
Passengers, the boarding started.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the ramp at Ottawa. I think this is my first time flying to Ottawa as well. These things are so loud though. All right, cool. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this flight, guys. It was a pleasure having you on board. Yeah, the dances do kill because like this is open Gangnam style. It's just funny. And the thing is, when you least expect it is when he's doing the dancing, and you would sometimes miss it. So I try my very best to be like, oh my goodness, if he's gonna park, let's try it. But I'm on the line though. Look at that parking. It was spot on. Oh well, no, okay, all right, fine. No, parked a little bit to the left. Okay, fine. So it wasn't as spot on as it should have been. Nevertheless, we could have gotten that dance though. It was really cool. Yeah, guys, so thank you so much for joining this evening for this stream. It was a pleasure having you. We will more than likely have another stream on December 6th, which is when the PMDG releases their 777 Foxtrot. May or may not. If not on the 6th, we definitely try for the 7th, the evening of the 7th. But it's gonna be a fantastic time here in the sim. It really is a fantastic time here on the Sims, because so many things are happening at the moment. We have PMDG doing their 777 Foxtrot. I really hope for the 777-200ER, but that's going to be coming in the 2024. I'm also waiting for the drop of the 350. That's also one anticipated airliner for the 2024 platform. But of course, like we said, because of all the teething issues, we're going to wait for that to happen until next year. And we'll definitely jump on that bag one. More than likely, you'll see us be on board by the end of January, early February, live Peace Spirit. So you can look out for us being on that platform by then. Hopefully by then as well, the A350 will be out for any builds, and we could definitely do some A350 flights. Again, the 757 is another one that should be coming out. And once that comes out as well, we'll be doing a lot more flying on the 2020 platform. So we'll keep both of them for that very purpose. Guys, it was a pleasure. Thank you so very much, Jordan. I appreciate it. It was a beautiful flight on the A319. Again, I'll have to make sure I do some more practice with the A319 off stream so I can do better landings once we get back into that. Again, it's a smaller airplane and requires a different kind of technique when landing. Until the very next time, guys, I hope that you will continue to be safe. It is the Christmas season, so definitely make sure that you are doing yourself well. Make sure you take care of yourself. Of course, your mental health is important. So until the next time, enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you. Take care.